Hey there, it's Charles here with the Lakers Nation Philippines podcast. And for this episode, we're going to be recapping what took place in the summer, a little bit of a preview to training camp, which is coming up next week, and some lineup predictions. And obviously, since it's pre-training camp, this is what we'd like to speculate and have fun with in regards to the team that's been assembled with LeBron James now signing. The other thing is, just to lightly touch on things in case you've been living in a rock, Luol Deng is no longer with the Lakers. I was not aware about the exemption to signing Luol Deng on September 1st versus August 31st. And then with Luol Deng getting convinced by Magic and Rob Pelinka to take a $7.5 million pay cut, now we're only going to be paying $15 million in a span of 3 years. So it's $5 million per year, which is really the genius behind Rob and Magic, right? I mean, the first move upon hiring, what do? They trade Lou Williams for Corey Brewer. Eventually didn't work out, but it was a great idea. And then we received the Kuzma pick. And between shutting off D'Angelo Russell, who was an attitude issue, getting rid of Mozgov, this was the next genius move, right? Another genius move, why it's genius, is it frees up $38.2 million in cap space. And, you know, you want to sign a whale, right? Next season, they waited and played the smart game and the long game. By long game is meaning till we sign LeBron, and did not trade the youth. Still have the kids. So props to Majinka, to Magic and Rob Pelinka. What an amazing duo, and what they've done is what should have been done, 5-6 years ago. They were probably a little nervous with Julius Randle because he had a $12 million qualifying offer. But you know what? If Julius Randle took less money, he's not going to play for the Lakers. It would have been half-hearted anyways. So let him go, because if you sign him and if he wasn't willing to do a 1 year a la KCP, well, why would you restrict yourself from signing a whale like Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard? You know, you don't want to sign Julius Randle for that reason. So for those of you who were crying about D'Angelo Russell and are still crying, you know what? Get some common sense. Buy a brain. Same thing with Julius Randle. Am I going to miss him? Yes. But am I going to miss him enough to hinder the Lakers from signing a whale? No way. Plus, like I said, he passed up $3 million less, and we would have earned his bird rights, and the offer was on the table, and he still passed. He wanted to be released, so bye. And, you know, it's not like he was a great three-point shooter. He just had a lot of effort. He was just not a star. How's that? Okay? Not a star. So if you're still crying about Julius Randle, I don't know if LeBron James would have signed with us if we had Julius Randle, because what is open? Who's going to play backup point guard? That money literally went to Rajon Rondo. Okay? So in regards to the hindsight speakers that I see that still speak on Julius Randle, bye. Take care. So there's $38.2 million freed in cap space, and ironically, that just matches KD, Kevin Durant. But there's 4 free agents that are going to be in line, right? One is Kevin Durant. The next is Kawhi. The next is Klay Thompson. And then now with recent news, Jimmy Butler. That's how I would rank it in order anyways. I would say I would take KD first, Kawhi next, Klay Thompson next, and then Jimmy Butler. Okay. The reason why I went in that order: one, KD, heads are going to explode. Minds are going to melt. People are going to piss in their pants if you have Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and God knows what the development will be, and we don't have to let go of anyone. Kevin Durant is actually more comfortable playing the 4 because he's played a lot of 4 on the Golden State Warriors. You keep LeBron happy at the 3, and you can play whoever at the 5 at that point. There's tons of people that will be available, like the Ed Davises, Tarek Black. Maybe like you could just sign a pogo stick or just a utility guy at the 5. And then God knows who you could play at the 2, whether it be Brandon Ingram, KCP, assuming he's still with the team, or Josh Hart. And then you can split time with, if Lonzo. I think Lonzo, I'm still high on Lonzo for this season, guys. I am still absolutely high on Lonzo. Everything that's happening with Lonzo is mental. It's not physical. I like the release of Lonzo Ball's shot. I don't like that bring it around the world crotch shot, but it looks like on Instagram his shot's getting a little bit altered for a faster release and supposedly a better release. You saw Josh Hart kill it in the Summer League, but really the Summer League is kind of like a Carfax, right? It will show you how the player is not that bad, because we've seen Jordan Clarkson be above everyone else in the Summer League, and then look how he plays in the league. We've seen Gennaro Pargo and Kareem Rush on their first and second year destroy folks, right? In the Summer League. But look how well they fared. They actually fared okay. But recently, as of the most recent example, you want to take a look at someone like Jordan Clarkson. But for some reason with Josh Hart, it seems like he is our Joe Dumars, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox type, where he's just steady. He's not a superstar. He could be. Don't get me wrong. He could be. But I personally feel he is between the aforementioned 3. Maybe he's got a little bit of less athletic Haran Butler in him, but he's definitely a glue guy and someone who you want in the lineup. Kawhi would be next, but you know what? It's hard to say Kawhi because we're all assuming he's going to be playing the same way, right? So KD first, then Kawhi. But assuming Kawhi returns to form, why not? Two-way player. But KD still first because KD plays to get his. And Kawhi, this is going to sound oxymoronic, plays intra or within a system. So Kawhi needs a little bit more Kobe. He needs a little bit more Jordan. He needs a little bit more Shaq in him to say, hey, pass me the ball, let me get mine. That's why he's second. And also, Kawhi Leonard, we don't know yet. So we're going to have to see. Does he settle in Toronto, right? And third would be Klay Thompson. The easy thing with Klay is because he doesn't need to play first. And he can play with a modern day or an old school point guard. You're open, splash. Hound that guy, play defense, boom. He's not like these giant leaper. Stays low on the ground, shuffles his feet, fast with his hands. And that makes, it depends on how the season ends, right? Klay might be your best option. Because if he's available ASAP, you go for it. But honestly, for me, with the Golden State Warriors, I feel Klay is unrealistic because the big 4, the OG 4, the 4 kids, the 4 grown kids, the developed kids from Golden State is Steph, Klay, Draymond. right? Did I say big four? The big three. Those are the big three. Okay, those are the OG three with Golden State. I don't think that's moving at all. That's it. That's Worthy, Magic, Kareem, you know, and no one's going to replace that. So I feel like Klay is the most unrealistic. I don't know if he has that, I need to be the alpha, I need to be the star, because all this tenure, he's been winning rings, he can make money, he's settled, everyone knows everyone's rhythm. And guess what? Like, who doesn't want more rings and more money? And you're playing with the people you love and know you. So, as far as for Klay, I think he's the most unrealistic. As I've mentioned, Kawhi, it's still a waiting game. But with KD, he's my number one choice. But he's the most unstable mentally out of the choices, right? And I'll talk about Jimmy Butler in a little bit. But because KD, right, he has all these burner accounts on IG. He responds to people. And you have to be so insecure, a person to reply that often. Once in a while, fine. Once, twice in a year, fine. But I feel like he's so thin-skinned. Is he also ready to retake that on? Right? So I don't want people to forget that with KD, he's so thin-skinned. Even like Golden State, the GM dissed him during one of those parades. Here, I've played this audio before, but check this out, okay?
When you think of being the executive of the year, I always wondered, how do you draft these guys? How do you find these guys? How do you put this team together and work so well with Steve? And then I heard you tell Kevin Durant he can have whatever contract he wants next year.
Yeah, that was just for the media. He can't have anything like that at all.
Mid-level.
Yeah, mid-level, behind closed.
And here's the setup, right? So that's a joke, right? Yeah, that's for the media, mid-level, blah, blah, blah. But here's where the burn comes.
Doors,
because I think last year he told Steph he could have any contract he wants too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was different. He's been here from the run, the way before days. He's earned it.
So you don't think that'll affect Kevin Durant? Either he's gonna mental midget it and say, I'm going to stay with Golden State, or he's going to be the opposite way and go, you know what, fuck you. I'm going to join LeBron. I got Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart with me. And you know what? We're going to re-sign Rajon Rondo and a bunch of other dudes that wants to play. And you know what, Golden State? Remember that statement? Remember that? During the championship parade? Well, fuck you. Here's the middle finger. So that's what I'm thinking. The opposite way Kevin Durant might go. And if there's any reason to believe that, here's audio from the jump, right? Here's audio from the jump where Kevin Durant actually congratulated LeBron on joining the Lakers.
We've been talking about LeBron, Kevin Durant. So let's talk about the decision to switch teams. Finals MVP Kevin Durant speaking to Mark Spears Wednesday, and Mark asked him for his thoughts on LeBron moving to LA. Here you go.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a perfect decision, perfect move. Did everything you're supposed to do in Cleveland. I think this is a perfect next step for him. And he's kind of breaking down the barriers of what an NBA superstar is supposed to be. You feel like you're supposed to just, play it out in one spot. I think he did a good job of giving you different chapters, and it's going to make his book even more interesting when it's done.
So that's Kevin Durant saying, because I'm going to do that shit too. Just so you know, I'm going to do that shit too. If I were Kevin Durant, if I want to win another ring and be in conversations to like, look, dude, everywhere I go, I win ring. I win rings. God, I sound like I'm from Orange County, Vietnamese from Orange County. I win ring. Geez, play with the Lakers, or unless New York puts together a Kyrie and Kevin Durant signing, they make a run, and you play with Kristaps Porzingis, which, by the way, I question his health. KP, Kristaps Porzingis' health. But, and you win a ring or bring some glory to New York, you and Kyrie, and you give the middle finger to the best player of this era, LeBron, that would be my second option. But I just don't trust the Knicks as long as the Dolan name is there. If there's a handprint or an imprint from James Dolan, I just don't trust that. Look what I said at the beginning of of this episode, where Jeannie Buss, got rid of her brother, Miss Mitch Kupchak. Unfortunately, you are outie. And then Robin Magic is destroying and paving ways for the Lakers right now. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't sign with the New York Knicks. I don't think Oklahoma would be a good fit if Russ is still there. What you need there is it's almost like you need like a Magic Johnson to play with him. I don't know if they could trade Steph Curry for Russell Westbrook and then bring Steph and have him and Paul George play together. That's the only time. But Russell Westbrook and Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson, it's the same cloth, man. They're cut from the same cloth. They can pad stats and have the high assist rates, but it all comes from heavy utility and usage. It's different. The assists that come from Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, John Stockton, and CP3, it's different compared to a Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, Russell Westbrook. Yes, they're worthy of winning MVPs. Yes, you can say like, hey, the assists are there, but it's based off high usage and isolation. So if I were Kevin, I would play for the Lakers. But, this whole DeMarcus Cousins thing could throw a monkey wrench into the Golden State signing. Because what if DeMarcus balls out? That could be the easy exit for Kevin Durant to say, you know what? You guys got DeMarcus. You guys got Draymond Green. You're going to re-sign Clay and Steph. You guys are good, man. You guys are good. And imagine if Kevin Durant and LeBron James just starts this new wave of crazy for the league. Playing with Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. See, that would be amazing for the league. I'm a Laker fan, so that's why I say it would be amazing. But let's wait and see, right? And play out on the season. Now, we also have a 15th spot open. That's where I would wait, unless if there's like a trade in the works, right? Because if all the kids play the proper way, there's a plus and a minus, but they're all pluses, right? If the kids play well and they improve, great. They play well and they improve. But if they play well and improve, then you can go for another big whale. Especially in the 2019 offseason. Let's say you sign a Klay Thompson. Okay? You re-sign KCP, a decent big, draft picks, and then you add like Brandon Ingram. So you give KCP, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and a draft pick for AD. Now you have LeBron, Klay Thompson, and AD in the same team. It's just with Magic and Rob Pelinka, these guys punch up. It's Don P in a limousine. That's the era where they come from. Drive a car. Why? I'll just get a limo. I'm going to punch up. So with the offseason, would you rather have that? Absolutely. You give me Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Klay Thompson. That's where Klay becomes the perfect setup teammate, right? And you have no choice if you're in New Orleans. It's like, hey, I got a dope Brandon Ingram, I got a dope Kyle Kuzma, and then like a KCP. Well, who else is going to give you something that good? Now, I know you guys are saying that's too much. Some of you might be saying that's too much, but you know what? There's going to be so much repetition in Brandon Ingram. So really what you're doing is you're giving up two youths, though one is a repeat position, for Anthony Davis. That's why I would pass on Butler. Another reason why I would pass on Butler is because you can sign him during free agency, and he's like fourth on the list. KD, depending on how Kawhi plays, Klay, then Butler. The only time I would like to have Butler is if we have like a Damian Lillard with that. Let's say you sign Butler for $30 million. Okay? Well, let's just settle on $30 million. I don't know if it's 32, 34 million. But then you get to trade Lonzo Ball, KCP, you sign and trade him, and then you give up Brandon Ingram. Let's say Lonzo fizzles. He looks like he's going to be a guy that's going to be a Mark Jackson at best. Which Mark Jackson is dope. You got a Rod Strickland type. I don't see Lonzo becoming like a Kevin Johnson. I maybe a more athletic John Stockton. Well, that would be great. But for some reason, some of you are forgetting the main goal is within these 3 years, possibly 4 with LeBron, is to win a ring. So with winning a ring, you got to punch up. So let's say you trade Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and KCP. Okay? Then you have, for Damian Lillard, so you have Damian Lillard at the 1, Jimmy Butler at the 2, and then LeBron at the 3. Kyle Kuzma at the 4. And then you have all these other developing players still, like Josh Hart, Svi. Maybe you can re-sign Rajon Rondo. And I've mentioned before, there's a lot of big guys out there like Tarek Black who are big utility players who can just grab the rebound. Or you can get like a pogo stick, right? Like a Tyson Chandler 2.0. So that's the only time I would sign Butler. He's not bad, but for me, it's still KD, Kawhi, Klay. It's those 3. You have all the cards. If you're the Lakers, you have all the cards. You are the belle of the ball. You got money, you got LeBron James, and assuming everyone improves, which they should with mentorship, everyone improves. Everyone improves. So I would wait for the 15th spot. I don't know what Jamal Crawford. There's a lot of people that cry for Jamal Crawford, but it's already a repeat. I mean, you have Lonzo, Rondo, Brandon Ingram, who can play the 2, KCP, Lance Stevenson. You got to give time to Svi, Mikhailuk. So I don't know where people get that. I don't think that's the most optimal signing. What we need is a big, guys. We need a big. We need a pogo stick. I don't have faith in Zubac, especially that now that he's playing for Team Croatia, and word around the campfire is that the Lakers aren't happy about that. That's not good. By the way, in the first place, the Lakers should have signed Thomas Bryant Why Zubats? This guy does not look good. I don't even call it a make it or break it season for Zubats because he's been regressing. He looked promising season 1. By season 2 is already regressing. I don't even see him in that Roni Turiaf role where he's like a high energy guy. We should have kept Thomas Bryant. Should have kept him. And by the way, one guy that you guys are failing to remember that we signed is Travis Ware. I've seen him 3 times in the previous season when he was with the Lakers and he was playing for the South Bay Lakers. Is this guy always had effort on defense? Was it great? No. Was it good? Yes. Can he shoot the 3? Yes. And he listens and he's coachable. He's 6'10". You guys are forgetting about that. Wagner, I'm a little hard on him because he looks like he'll grab the rebound aggressively. He'll shoot the 3 well. But on certain plays, he looks lost. He looks like a fucking dodo sometimes. Like Ryan Anderson, a little bit more athletic, but he's also going to look like a newborn giraffe like Zubats at times. I'm not high on Bonga, and I'm not high on Wagner. So I hope I'm wrong when it comes to Wagner and Bonga. Okay, whatever. But Svi is the guy I think who's our star. He's another like Josh Hart type where he's a specified utility player that likes to play defense. There's also like, YouTube clips and Twitter clips of him, running around. He's almost like a white Ray Allen. That's what Svi reminds me of. He could be the white Ray Allen or Euro. So I'm high on Svi. So for me, and again, this is speculative before the training camp. There's 2 sets of starters and benches, right? The starters I would like to see, and most realistic, is where you have at least 2 or 3 veterans. Is starting lineup of Lonzo at the 1, KCP at the 2, keep James at the 3, Kuzma at the 4, and McGee at the 5. That way you have 3 veterans and 2 developing players. And then next after that, you have Rondo, Hart, Svi at the 3, because you got to play the brother, Ingram at the 4, and then you can switch around with Beasley and Ware at the 5. Again, Zubats, Wagner, man, I would trade these 2. They're income-filling players. Can Wagner play? I don't even think he's Roni Turiaf. He's more going to get like Travis Knight minutes, Jelani McCoy minutes for Zubats. I have no faith in those guys. 2 fucking dodos. Or you can go with the starters really young, right? You can go with only 2 vets. You can go with Lonzo, Ingram, James, Kuzma, and McGee. I do believe Ingram has been improving his shooting off screens, but I still feel KCP's way better than that. But that's if you want to go with 3 youngins and go tall. And then your bench could be Rondo, Harts, V, Beasley, and Ware. That's where I feel Travis Ware is legitimate. So off the bench, you can go with Rondo, Harts, V, Beasley, and Ware. I like that. You can just run and gun. Absolutely just run and gun. So keep in mind, the main goal here is to win a ring while LeBron is with the Lakers. You have 3, maybe 4 years, right? I don't think LeBron's going to sign with another team after the Lakers during his final year, but you never know. You just don't know. Maybe if there's an opportunity to where at that point, I don't know, the Knicks has KCP, Kristaps Porzingis, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, and then all you need is LeBron, or he signs with Philly and he wins his 4th ring with them. So that's what you have to concentrate and look into. Andrew Bynum is making waves or short-term waves on Instagram and YouTube. Pass. That guy's playing for money, not for passion or love for the game. Anytime you have a person like that, you don't want him on your team. I hear Luka Doncic is getting fat. Fat as in like the same way fat John Wall is fat, but I don't know. That's speculation. Hot mom though, man. And I don't know, guys. Well, it's going to be a great season, and I feel we're going to see how great LeBron James is. But keep in mind, guys, you never know in the future if you can swap Kuzma, Ingram, and picks for Anthony Davis, and then you sign Kawhi or Clay or KD. So you have a whale, trade for a whale, and play with LeBron, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then you have Kawhi, Clay, or KD. Watch out, league. So that's it for this episode with the Lakers Nation Philippines, doing it in the monthly in the interim. Signing off. This is Charlie. Thanks.